All right, welcome to the Three Candle Collective Technical Analysis Basic Training course. This is the Tradingview section of this course. You will find this information in Chapter 1 of the PDF that I sent you, so if you forget anything that I go through in this video, you can always just reference this handy dandy little PDF that looks like this that comes with every chapter lesson. All right, so what are we going to talk about in this Tradingview tutorial? We're going to go over how to set up your chart, how to customize your chart, how to select and use certain drawing tools, how to set up alerts, insert indicators and customize them, and then we will go over creating your own watch list. So let's get going. So when you first sign into TradingView, your chart is going to look like this. This is the Bitcoin 2-hour chart. Your time frames will be up here in this corner. The asset that you're looking for will be in this corner. So the chart that we always use in the group for Bitcoin, just for your reference, just type in BTC USD and you'll get the first one on top here. It is the Bitstamp Chart. This is the chart that we typically use for really the main reason is that it has the most data. So depending on how long certain exchanges have held Bitcoin, all of these charts are going to be that specific exchange data. So what do I mean by that? So we have the Bitstamp Bitcoin. Say we want to look at the Binance BTC USD. Okay, so or we can just look at ByBit. Let's go to ByBit. So you can see this ByBit chart. Let's zoom out to the daily. This ByBit chart only goes back to November of 2018. And if we go back to the Bitstamp chart, you can see that this goes back significantly further. Just looking at it from here, you can see it goes all the way back to 2011. So that's why we use the Bitstamp chart versus any other one. When you first open up your chart, it's going to be on auto. I recommend shutting that off. And when you're trading or charting cryptocurrencies, it's always a great idea to use the log scale chart. All right, so top left, these are your time frames. These are your basic time frames. If you have a pro membership or better, you can adjust the time frames that you want to look at. So typically I keep, we'll go out here. So we'll start out, oops. So I always keep a 1 week chart up here, and that is always there. The 1 month chart is there, and that is always there. So if you want to look for a custom time frame, what you'll do is you'll say 3, and then it'll give you the ability to pick minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, or a range. The best thing to do here, so we want to find a 3-month chart, right? And we'll just add that really quick. So we'll just add that really quick, and you see it pops up right here under days. So if we click on that, it'll take us to the Bitcoin 3-month chart, right? Pretty easy. So you might notice that some charts you see have a bunch of different time frames up here. So how to select quick reference time frames, you will just go into this menu right up here, and you'll just click on the little star. That will give you the time frames that you can reference pretty quickly. My favorite time frames are the 1, 2, and 3 and 4 hour, 8 hour, 12 hour, and then the daily. And then you may see sometimes I will post charts with 30-minute time frames. That will be to let you guys know that we're nearing a time where we might look to enter or take profit in a trade. So that's the time frames. And then the next one over here, let's actually go back to the daily chart. Okay, so the next one over here, you can choose your type of chart that you want to look at. You can use regular bars, you can use hollow candles, you can use Fibonacci candles, which is what I use in every chart that I post, and I recommend that you use them through this course as well. You can use regular candles. We'll go ahead and select Fibonacci, and you can also pick a line chart, an area chart, baseline chart. You can use what are called Renko candles, line break candles. and these we won't use in the trading group really at all. Occasionally I will use Renko candles when I'm looking at indexes, but for the purpose of this tutorial, the only candle that you really need to pay attention to are the Heikin Ashi candles, so make sure those are selected. Okay, so we're setting up our chart. We've got our symbol here, we've got our time frame selected, we've got our candles, they're selected Heikin Ashi candles, okay? And then the next thing we are going to do, if we want to go ahead and save this chart, so you're going to hit rename, and I'm going to name this one Tradingview Tutorial. Boom, Tradingview Tutorial is saved. Now you might also notice that a lot of my charts don't look the same, or excuse me, you might notice that a lot of my charts might look different, or they're customized. How I do that, so what you're going to do is you want to click on this little gear in the top right, and this will give you a whole bunch of more options. So the first one you're going to want to click on, especially if you are using Heikin Ashi candles, which I always do, and if you're in this course, I recommend using them through the duration of this course. You're going to click on show real prices on price scale instead of Heikin Ashi prices. Now why you want to click on that will be something I teach later in the course. You'll actually learn that in one of the coming video lessons. And then you can do a number of different things here. You can add high and low price lines. You can add different things if you're looking to trade stocks. So you can use the information you learn in this course to trade stocks. It's not just for cryptocurrencies. And you can also pick your time frame. So typically things are put on UTC, but I'm here in Los Angeles. I like to see times that correspond to LA times. So I click that. The status line, this really just shows you everything you'll see on the right here. Scales. Scales is just another number of options that you can pick here, just really what you want your chart to look like. So it's really what appears on your chart. And then you're going to go to appearance. So appearance, you can adjust this any way you like, whatever you feel more comfortable adjusting it to, but I get rid of the vertical and horizontal lines just because I really don't like them on my chart, and I change my crosshair from gray to white, and I use a dotted line on the smallest thickness setting. You can turn your watermark on or off. All of that, all a watermark is just this background information back here to let you know what chart it is you're looking at, or if you go to take a snapshot of your chart, whoever's looking at your chart, they can see quickly what time frame and what asset this chart is for. Trading, this really goes into more of the features available if you're trading stocks. So if you use a broker through this website, Tradingview, this will give you this will allow you to interact with different brokers that are available through this site. Events, so you can post certain events. Again, this is more or less for stock trading, not necessarily cryptocurrencies, so we will not really go into that. If you want to save your chart setup, so you can go here under template and click save as, and it'll save this chart setup, and we'll call this one Tradingview Tutorial. Okay, easy peasy. So our chart is saved. Our chart looks the way we want it. Again, if you go back in here, you can change the color of these candles, whatever you feel comfortable. I like to use green and red or variations of thereof, but whatever you like, whatever floats your boat. Okay, so if you are using a premium package or better, you can actually add numbers of charts to your chart. So we can put this into 3 screens and chart 3 different assets. But you really don't need to worry about that at this point in time. Keeping 1 screen is just fine for now. So if you want to go full screen, that's this button here. We won't click on that. If you want to take a picture of your chart, so if you earn privileges to post in the group, this is how you will post your chart. You'll say take a snapshot, and this will pop up, this little window. All you have to do is copy, and then if you paste this somewhere, so if we open up another window, paste this, it'll take us to what that chart looks like at that point in time. Okay, If you want to publish, so if you're coming along in your trading and you feel like you have something to contribute to the community, you can go ahead and publish your chart ideas, and these will show up in the ideas section, something that we'll go over a little later, but for the purposes of this lesson, you do not need to know any of that. Okay, so let's start on the left-hand side here. So this is the type of cursor you're using. I typically like to leave it where it is, right here on this X. And then this menu, this is your first drawing tools menu. So you have your trend line, your info line, something we don't typically use. Anchored VWAP, we will use that, but don't worry about that for now. You can do a cross line, you can use arrows. Horizontal rays are very useful. So all these are, so horizontal rays do that. So it's from the point that you click all the way to the right hand scale side, and it does list you a price. Now, when you do put a drawing on your chart, you will get this little menu that will pop up. This menu is where you change your thickness of your line. So we can go thin, fat, whether you want a dotted, dashed, or solid line, okay? And then you can actually change the style of said drawing. You can add text to a lot of these. You can, if you're looking for some precision in your charting, you can actually add the price at which these horizontal rays or trend lines are there, and you can change the visibility. So you can leave these drawings on your chart for a certain amount of time, in this menu here. So that's all that is there. You can add an alert. So say you post this horizontal ray and you want to add an alert if price crosses above that horizontal ray. What you'll do is you'll click on the alert. Okay, it says condition Bitcoin Fibonacci candles crossing. What we would want to do is change that to crossing up the horizontal ray once per bar. And then you can change how long this alert will stay active for, okay? And then you can also have the option to notify you on the app. If you have the mobile app for your phone, show a pop-up on your desktop, send you an email. So that would be an email that you set up in your settings when you first join. You can send a webhook email or URL. We won't get into that, but that is how I send alerts to the Telegram groups. And you can have it play a sound. These sounds are extremely annoying, fair warning, but they are that way on purpose. You can send an email text, so you can have it set up so it sends a text to your phone. You can name the alert, so we'll say Tradingview tutorial alert. Okay, and then you say the message. So when you get the pop-up or notify on app, you will get the message alert, and this is what you'll see. It'll say the time frame of the chart, the type of chart, so Bitcoin 1 day Fibonacci crossing up horizontal ray, and you should know the price at which you put the horizontal ray. So that's how you set up a basic alert. That's the alert that we have set there. And to view the alerts that you have set, you will click on this little clock here, and usually it stays in order. So that alert will be this alert here. If I made a mistake or need to go back and edit it, I'll click on the little gear here and I'll edit it and save. But I'm going to delete this alert because this will actually end up being sent to the trading group if I leave it live. Okay, so that is where we are at there. So we have this top menu basically taken care of. Your Tradingview charts will always appear here. So if you want to load another saved chart, you'll click on load chart, or you can make a brand new chart. You can rename it, make a copy. If you want to share the chart with someone, this is where you will click share. Or if you just want to save it, you can do one of two things. You can hit Control S, or you can just click on this Tradingview thing here. If you make a mistake, so say you post a horizontal ray and you don't want that there, it was an accident, you can hit this back button, or you can do the same thing by hitting Command Z. So if you forget all of these keyboard shortcuts, no big deal. I will remind you guys of them later in the episode and give you a cheat sheet. So indicator templates, something we won't use. Fundamental metrics for stocks, something we won't use. Indicators, something we absolutely will use. So this is what your indicators and strategies looks like. So if you're looking for an indicator, you'll click on that F of X box. You will type in the name of a indicator. So we're looking for the relative strength index. boom, there it is. It's already in my favorites. So if you want to add this to your favorites, you'll highlight this star and it will save in your favorites. Okay. One thing I want to mention is I'm going to send you invite only scripts. So when you click on that f of x and it brings up this window, you're going to click here on invite only scripts. And this is where you will see the invites for the scripts that I had sent you. So when I reference the invite only scripts, this is where they will be. Okay. Okay, so we brought up our RSI. So let's bring up all of the indicators that we are typically going to use. Okay, so we're going to look for the MACD. Boom, first one, make sure you click the star and add that to your favorites. Okay, the next one, stochastic. Stochastic RSI. We're going to use that one. So make sure you add that one by clicking on the star to add it to your chart. For now, it's best if you just do not go looking or trying to use all of the other indicators. It's a lot of information and you may just end up confusing yourself. Okay, so this is what our menu looks like right now. If we double click up here, you can see that it takes away the other indicators and brings us back to this full chart. So in this menu, we went over all of the drawings that we have here. You can get in there and experiment with those on your own. Here is where you will find a lot of the drawing tools that I do use in the charts I post in the trading group. The number one tool in the trading group that I use is the Fibonacci retracement tool. This tool is very, very useful and something that I will show you how to use later in the course. I'll show you how to use these later in the course, but this is where all of these tools are. So if you click on Fibonacci retracement and you use this tool, say we just want to find a retracement down here. Okay, so that's how that works. If you want to customize the Fibonacci retracement, again, you can click on the gear and it will look like this and you can adjust that any way you want. If you want to delete it, just hit the remove button there. Okay, text, this is where you'll add text. This is where you will use certain tools that will help you draw triangles and different patterns that we will discuss throughout the duration of this course. To help you find your risk-reward ratio, something I will teach you later on in the course, this is where you will find this. So in this menu, you will find where you put your long positions and short positions, and how to set those up is something we will go on to later in the course. Now you have this handy-dandy measure ruler here. It can give you price range, it can give you time range, it gives you really both at the same time. Another way to access that is to just hold the shift button and then click wherever you want to start to measure. Your zoom is here. Your magnet, now this can be quite annoying, but it can also be quite useful. How this works is, say you're using your magnet and you want to draw a trend line across the top here. What it does is it makes the trend line just stick to the top of the wick immediately. Okay, so sometimes that helps with chart drawing, sometimes it can actually impede it. This will lock your chart, so this is something that you should definitely remember how to use, because as you accumulate drawings on your chart, if they're not locked, they can be easily moved. Okay, so if you lock the chart, you cannot move these drawings. Unlock the chart, drawing moves. Okay, chart drawings should be locked at all times. It really can become a pain in the butt when you're trying to navigate your chart, but every time you click to move the chart, you click on a drawing and it moves instead of your chart. All right, so we've got our left side menu basically taken care of. This little eye, so this little eye is, say if you have a bunch of chart drawings and you just want to pull those chart drawings away for a second, you click on the eye and it hides all of your chart drawings. Okay, say you want to start your chart completely over, get rid of all of your drawings, you will click on this little garbage can and it will completely erase your chart. All right, so just to review, this is where we will name, save, and load our charts. This is where we will take a picture. This is where we will go backwards. You can also do Command Z. You can use a rewind function, but the rewind function must only be used with regular candles. How this works is, say you want to practice trading a pattern, okay? right? And you can go back in time. So that red line takes you back to the point in time at which you want to start, and then you'll push the play on this little menu bar down here, and it will just go further in time. So this is something you can use to help practice and backtest certain trading strategies. All right, so let's go back to Heiken Ashi. Yep, cannot go in that mode from there. Okay, so on the right hand side, so top button, this will be your watch list. Okay, so this is something we are going to use, and in one of the next lessons I'm actually going to help you set up your watch list. It's very, very easy. Typically you will have your one symbol in there that you're looking at currently, and to add more you will just click on the add button and you can search in any other symbol that you want. Okay, the next one is your alerts panel to let you know all of the alerts that you have set. This one is the headlines or the news for the current asset that you are looking at. So all of these are Bitcoin news articles, and this can be pretty useful, honestly. This is pretty good. This is your data window. So this will tell you all of the data for any of the indicators that you have on the chart, the high, low, close of a certain time frame. So you can, scroll over that or hover over that and it'll tell you that information. But anything that you have connected to this chart as far as data goes, I mean, indicators and any strategy things that produce, data sets, you'll see those here. This little guy, so this gives you basically just news from around the investing world. A lot of this is exchanged for stocks and certain things. We don't really typically use this menu for much. This is your economic calendar. So this will be more for stocks. Again, we do have a group calendar that keeps us updated on all of the important dates that are coming up for crypto. So if you do not have an invite for that subscription, please let me know and I will shoot that over to you as soon as possible. Ideas. So this is pretty cool. So this little light bulb will show you all of your ideas. So in the previous part of this lesson, we did talk about clicking on this publish button. So every idea that you published will show up here. This is your, not your, but the chat. So there are a bunch of chat groups for different assets. There's some pretty interesting stuff in there. There's some pretty interesting people. Be very, very careful of scams and people trying to sell you things that you do not need. This is your direct message panel. So if people message you directly through Tradingview, you can check them here. This is the ideas stream panel. So this can be pretty useful. So if you're looking for ideas on whatever asset it is you're looking at, in this case it's Bitcoin, the community around Tradingview will publish their ideas and they will show up in here as well. Now, if you follow certain people, they will typically be the only ones to show up in here, but you can change these settings here, right? So you can change those to show all ideas, show ideas of followed users only, and show my ideas. Now this will pop up on the screen, which can be kind of annoying. So if we take those off, we'll just get rid of that. It'll actually click on there. So we'll just hide those. So you right click and I clicked hide. Okay, so this is a streams section. This really just started, so we won't, any stream I do, you will have an invite, so you don't need to worry about that. This is your notifications tab, so when people interact with your publications, you will get a notification here. This is your trading order panel. We do not use this for crypto because you do not have the ability to trade directly from your Tradingview chart to most crypto exchanges. And then this guy, this is your market buys and sells. This is how you track your orders. And this can be pretty useful as well. This is a object tree. So this is very, very useful. So say you're drawing a pattern today, right? And all of these lines on your chart will start to accumulate. What you want to do is click on one of your drawings and then click on this folder and create a folder. And you can double click on that folder to change the name. And we'll just say this is 22 January 21. Okay, so all of these drawings then will be in this folder. and I can then lock that folder so the chart drawings can't be moved, see? Or I can just hide those specific drawings. Okay, so if we add some more, right, and this chart drawing will not be in that group, but we can still hide this group and that chart drawing will still stay there. Okay, so that's pretty easy. Remember, the chart drawings is very, or the object tree is very useful. One last interesting and useful, very useful thing on your TradingView chart. If you go to Crypto Screener, it will give you the ability to screen through every single crypto that TradingView has data on, which is pretty awesome. And you can filter these results a number of different ways. So this will prove very, very useful, especially as altcoin season nears and we start looking for an altcoin boom. This will help us catch overbought and oversold bounces. All right, guys, that's it for this TradingView tutorial. Make sure you set up your chart similarly to mine. Use the Fibonacci candles. Make sure you're using a log scale chart only. And that's really the only requirements I have. You may like using a dark chart a bit better than a light chart. Again, how you would change that, click on the gear in the top right, click on appearance, and then you can say your background here. Okay, so you can change that from a solid to a gradient. And you can do all kinds of neat things there. But that's it, guys. Great job. On to the next lesson.